listening to Compete Radio with your host, Josh Fourier, Buddy Early with the news, Alfonso Chavez with Sports Pop, Connie Wardman with Ask Connie, and Eric Carlisle with Hot Topics. Compete Radio.
Welcome to the big show. I'm your host, Josh Fourier. We're here with Buddy, Alfonso, Connie, Eric, and our engineer, Jay. We can't forget about him. He's not on the mic, but he's here with us. We've not only, it's been a nice week, holiday and everything. We've expanded. We're on gaytalkradio.org, queerpublicradio.com, and qnation.fm, of course. Yay!
Right on. Awesome.
Welcome, new listeners.
Yeah, that is awesome. So our audience is growing. Our voices are in more places, which is always a good thing. And we'd like to welcome our new listeners to the Compete Radio family. So yesterday was Thanksgiving. How was everyone's turkey day?
Full.
It's going to be great.
Are you still full, Connie?
Absolutely.
Do you feel puffy?
Just because I'm floating around like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Weren't you in the Macy's parade? You were
you saw me?
Yeah.
Oh, rats.
Speaking of Macy's, 3 a.m. yesterday, it was crazy. I was going to Walmart to get the Xbox, the red one, and when they open the doors, people get psychotic, like violent psychotic.
Well, it was like 2 years ago, Walmart. Somebody was trampled. Like the guy who opens the door, the old guy who's like, "Hey, welcome to Walmart."
Yes, but I did get a Sony laptop really cheap, so it was worth it.
Yeah.
Did you? Okay.
Like trampled to death, like he
died.
Killed.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
I remember that.
It is. Those people are insane. How much are they going to save? Like $20, and they have $400 in
It's a ritual
hospital
for
bills?
some people, I
It
guess.
is. I have a friend who does that all the time.
Well, ladies, gentlemen, and other, Amazon.com. You always save more money.
Exactly.
No, go to our website and click on the link for Amazon.com.
We're not doing websites.
Give your friends Compete magazine subscriptions for the year and be done with your Christmas
See, that's the
shopping.
best gift ever.
Yeah.
I would then shop from our advertisers.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Great.
Compete magazine. Who is our newest advertiser that we have?
Let's give a big shout out to the people over at Team DC. They're actually having a modeling contest, and they have an ad in the magazine this month coming out.
Yay.
And this is Team DC.
Yes.
Okay, so
As in Washington, D.C., right?
Yes.
Okay.
go to CompeteRadio.com. We have the link for Team DC on our website, CompeteRadio.com. So, buddy, football. What's going on?
Well, in recent weeks I've talked about things like hockey and boxing that are just topics that are really not my thing, but I'm trying to diversify here on Compete Radio. But as all of you know, my favorite topic is football.
Yes.
And since we've already passed the halfway point of this NFL season,
Yay! Sorry.
Yeah, Alfonso just can't wait for it to be over because I come in and talk nonstop about football here in the office. It's actually going to be. It's always like a release for me when the football season is over too, because I'm sort of paralyzed from September through the end of the year every year because Saturday and Sunday, it's all about football. And people will invite me to things and sometimes important, dinners or events or things I got to do. And I'm like, I got to see who's playing on Saturday afternoon. I'll get back to you. And people think I'm crazy, but it is my thing.
So you have no life
love you
outside.
anyway.
I try to have a life, but
Football is his life.
my life surrounds football right now. Anyway, what I thought would
And
be
a buffet table. Let's have a buffet table.
That never hurts. Yeah. What I thought would be fun to do is, since we are past the halfway point, is to talk about the top 5, of course, my top 5 NFL stories of 2010.
Now, this is not to be confused with the top 100 from last week, right?
No, when we discussed the top 100 players, this is the top 5 stories from this NFL campaign, and NFL season is always good for a lot of drama and fun, interesting, intriguing stories on and off the field.
Well, aren't the top 5 all going to be about Brett Favre?
No.
Oh.
Thanks for ruining it, Connie.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, let's go on to number 5. Number 5, Any Given Sunday. And by the way, all my top 5 have these names that are takeoffs of movies or television series or that kind of thing. Some of them are very cheese-tastic.
For added drama.
But you remember the film Any Given Sunday with Al Pacino. the reason it was called Any Given Sunday is because in the NFL, they always say, any given Sunday, any team can beat any other team, which is totally true, and it's been the case this year. You could put up, a 1-9 team against an 8-2 team, and nothing that they've done all season matters. It's that week. What you have in the NFL is, unlike other sports where, you have the Yankees and then you have like the Kansas City Royals, and there's a huge chasm between the talent level. Like, it's just not even close. In the NFL, you can take the best team and the worst team, and the difference in talent is really not that great, but it's just across the board a little better, and it's all about their game plan and the schemes they run and their coaching and how they click as a team. And we've seen that a lot this year with NFL parity and teams losing to teams they are not supposed to, teams beating teams they're not supposed to beat, teams coming out of nowhere to make a playoff run, other teams like my Cowboys tanking when a lot of people thought they were going to the Super Bowl. So that's what makes every NFL season so great, is that any given Sunday, anything can happen.
Sounds like RuPaul's Drag Race.
Drag race.
I've actually never seen that show, but I'm assuming that any
hilarious.
drag queen could win any week because such a good
Any
competition.
drag queen could lose on
Exactly.
and you get a bad challenge, and,
Always
and it's over.
count on this group to bring it back to drag.
What night is that on, Alfonso?
It's not on right now, actually. It'll be on again next year.
So
probably
any given
January.
Wednesday, probably.
Okay, so
Monday
story,
nights.
story number 4, buddy.
Story number 4, the mild West. Referring to the NFC West mainly, which is so horrible this year. I said mild because I was trying to play off the Wild West, but it's actually really bad.
That was good, buddy.
A lot of thank you. It gets better. A lot of people think that we might actually have a division winner with an under 500 record, with like a 7-9 record, go to the playoffs, and that could seriously happen this year. And our Arizona Cardinals, which I know a lot of people around this table are fans of the Cardinals, are 3-7 right now, and still have a chance to go to the playoffs because that division is so
tragic.
bad.
Wow.
So it's just
But
one
if
of those
everybody
anomalies.
loses, who wins? Right?
What's that?
Everybody loses, who wins?
Well,
right?
certainly not the team owners.
Our number 3 story, young and rested, and that's what Vince Young is going to be for the rest of the season. Very rested because he won't be playing. In last week's game, Vince Young left the game, and we found out that he was going to miss the rest of the season because of a thumb injury. Then find out that his coach, Jeff Fisher, says he wouldn't play anyway because basically Fisher's tired of his immaturity and his attitude. And we've seen this from Vince Young in his entire career, which I think he's in year 5 or 6 of his career. He's just, his immaturity level, he cannot handle the responsibility of being an NFL quarterback. There was an incident last year where he threw a tantrum after a loss, and then the next day disappeared, and they put him on suicide watch, and his family called the police. It's just crazy stuff with
This all
this guy.
sounds very waiting to exhale.
After last week's game, he threw half his uniform into the stands, and then somebody had to chase him down in the parking lot and tell him, you got to come back here to the locker room. And Jeff Fisher, who is the longest tenured coach in the league and a really good coach, has basically had enough of him and says, he's not going to be my starting quarterback. I don't care about his thumb, if it gets
good
better
for
or not.
him.
But we're going to see some off-season drama because the owner of the Tennessee Titans, Bud Adams, has already said, Vince Young's our quarterback. And so they're going to have some conflict in the off-season.
No, that's not the same Vincent Young that used to be on 90210 back in the day, is it?
I have no idea who that is.
I doubt it because he's probably like 75 now. So.
Okay. Our number 2 story, because before the season, you might remember a lot of the Super Bowl in 2011 is going to be in Dallas, their brand new $1 billion stadium, and a lot of people thought this could be the first time the host city has its team there. The Cowboys could make it to the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's right.
Well, it's already been
So our number 2 story is Absence of Dallas. Anybody? Remember that movie, Absence of Malice? Okay.
Sorry.
1981.
I'm sorry,
We're
I'm
not the
very
movie
young.
Sally
buffs like-
Field, Paul
like
Newman
you are,
vehicle.
buddy.
Anyway, Dallas, my team, in case you don't know, I've said it many times on our show,
Yes.
is not going to be going to the Super Bowl or even to the playoffs. They've already fired their head coach a couple weeks ago. Since then, Jason Garrett has taken over as head coach, and they've actually won a couple games, but it's too little too late. So we're going to have to look forward to next year, and my Dallas Cowboys are going to have to just be gracious hosts while somebody else comes into their city and plays for the Super Bowl.
They'll have to do the Miss America wave from the stands.
Yeah, and which is fine with me. You know, Tony Romo with his helmet off is just as good as him with his helmet on. No?
Okay. No,
or Jason Witten,
can
who
have that.
I prefer
Yeah.
Jason Witten, their Cowboys tight end.
And nobody's dating Jessica Simpson anymore, right?
No, she's engaged, right?
No, I mean not on the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, no.
Is Rosie Greer playing for Dallas now?
No, he's off doing needlepoint somewhere.
Oh. And our number one story of this NFL season, I think, will come as no surprise to anyone. As the Twin Cities turn, because in Minnesota, we have seen... Really? You like that
That
one?
was a great
I like
Yeah.
Absence of Dallas, but that's just my weird
Well,
thing.
we didn't know about
Okay.
that movie. So.
But in Minnesota, we've had so much drama from the off-season concerns of, is Brett Favre going to play? Oh, he came back during preseason, but he doesn't want to go to training camp. They've had injuries going back to preseason. They lost their top wide receiver for half the season. Then their other receiver, Percy Harvin, starts having these mysterious headaches, and nobody knows what they're all about.
You need to just take a rusty penknife and open him up and let the evil spirits out.
Then they start out 2-5. Again, like the Cowboys, the Vikings were expected to be a Super Bowl contender, but they start off horribly. They're still really, really bad. Brett Favre has conflict with his other teammates, with Coach Brad Childress, who just got fired
What a
last week.
surprise.
They brought in Randy Moss in a trade from the Patriots, and 2 weeks later, Brad Childress cut him, but the owner of the Vikings says, hey, I didn't know you were going to do that. You need to check with me first. It's just drama all over Minneapolis.
Sounds
And-
like a big mess.
It's like as the stomach
and
turns.
nobody knows what's going to happen in the offseason. Of course, like I said, they've already fired head coach Brad Childress, and he was sort of made the scapegoat. This season was not his problem. The problem was a combination of Brett Favre having a lousy season, but the owner also, making it clear that, hey, this is Brett Favre's team. We'll let him do whatever he wants. He doesn't have to go to training camp. We support him. And so the
Now,
coach
can we
and Brett
go
Favre.
back to the one that the coach that was upset by the immaturity level
Yes.
of the player?
Right. Well, interestingly enough, the Tennessee Titans, that team, they're the team that got Randy Moss from the Vikings after they decided they didn't want him. And or they picked him up on waivers after he
Okay.
was cut. He hasn't done anything in the few weeks he's been in Tennessee yet. But Jeff Fisher is kind of an old school coach. I don't think he'll put up with Randy Moss's crap, if
Being
that's
a
what Randy Moss
prima donna.
brings. Because Randy Moss is sort of along the lines of Terrell Owens, Ocho Cinco, one of those diva wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
And everywhere he goes, he's like T.O. He's been in so many cities because after a season or two, they're like, oh, he's not worth it. I don't care if he's very talented. He's not worth the headache. So they're probably going to see that in Tennessee as well.
Boy.
So, one of I only had a top 5, and it was difficult for me to leave out the Michael Vick story because that is obviously one of the big stories of this NFL
Yeah,
season.
it
He's already sewn up the Comeback Player of the Year award. Some people are saying he could be the MVP. A lot of people are saying, hey, have you forgotten his past?
Yeah.
So there's still plenty
And
of
they have,
people.
apparently.
A lot of people have just forgotten it, and a lot of people just
Don't care.
are to the point where they want to give him the benefit of the doubt because they have no other choice. You can protest, all you want and say he's a horrible person, but then, it's kind of the American thing to give people a second chance.
Especially
And-
if it makes money.
and, well, yeah, but, on a deeper level, I think on this country, we give a lot of people second chances.
That's true.
You see these stories all the time
Which is nice.
about former gang members, who seek redemption and come out of prison, and they're, sort of given a second chance. And that's all we can do right now with Michael Vick is think that he's being sincere when he does these talking tours and says that he's a changed man. We'll see. It could have come back all to bite us.
Yeah. Up next, crazy world of sports, pop, entertainment, and more. And then later in the show, BJ's and Watercoolers with Eric.
Oh Lord!
I don't even know where that's going to go.
I'm scared.
I'm scared too.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. 2 minutes. Stay with us. CompeteRadio.com.
Compete Radio.
Hey, it's Josh Fourier, host of Compete Radio. I'm hanging out with Jay. He's our engineer here at the show. And, you know, hi. I don't know about you, Jay, but I love CompeteRadio.com.
Yeah, me too, Josh. Compete Radio is always up to date and is one of the more informative sites out there for gay sports.
Yeah, I really love how I can log on to the site and I can browse the most recent sports news stories and hot topics while instantly streaming our most recent show.
That's true. You're preaching to the choir, but CompeteRadio.com is by far my source for anything gay sports.
Well, mine too. Hey, if you're listening, why don't you go check it out? It's CompeteRadio.com. That's CompeteRadio.com. What are you waiting for? Log on now. CompeteRadio.com. Hey, it's your host, Josh Fourier with Compete Radio. I'm trying to figure out what there is to do for the 27th and 28th of November, so I've asked our travel lady expert. Hello! Hello! What's going on?
Oh, there's so many things. It's just ridiculous. By the way, Abigail Rioch, your travel lady, traveling all around the globe, telling you about important events coming up. Coming up this November 27th and 28th, the President's Queer Cup Classic. Oh, that sounds kind of strange, actually. There's volleyball. It's in Washington, D.C. I believe it is the capital of, whatever that little place is across the pond over there. And go to www.cpvclub.org. That's cpvclub.org. Thank you, Toodles.
You're listening to Compete Radio.
Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Josh Fourier. Don't forget, you can log on to CompeteRadio.com to check out everything that we talk about on the show. Buddy, all your you're up to the date, I guess, since we're a weekly show. All of your news stories and everything are on CompeteRadio.com. So you can go and find our sources for all of the information we give you. Now, in Sports Pop, the crazy world of entertainment and sports all kind of mixed together, Joe Rogan, apparently, I don't know if he's necessarily in trouble, but he's in trouble with me, at least, as far as what you told me about the story. Alfonso, what's going on with Mr. Rogan?
Well, for those of you who aren't familiar with Joe Rogan he's a comedian, but he was a host on Fear Factor for the time it was on TV. He's also a commentator for the UFC. And what had happened recently, let me just kind of give everybody a rundown of what's going on. There's an MMA, which is mixed martial arts. Some people kind of blanket call it UFC. They ran an article called You Wonder Why We're Not Mainstream, and Volume 1 was Joe Rogan's slur usage. And
Oh, my.
So the basis of this article was a disagreement between Joe Rogan, as a UFC commentator, and a writer at ShareDog.com, or he used to be a writer at ShareDog.com, Thomas Rios. And Rios made a comment about Joe Rogan's knowledge of mixed martial arts techniques, and it was about a certain kick that was called, and Joe Rogan called it a question mark kick. There was some other conflict and drama. Yeah, it's a gay word.
Okay.
And so, Rogan again Rios made a comment about Joe Rogan using this questionable term about a kick and possibly being wrong, and Rogan shot back by saying he had Rios fired from his job at ShareDog and called him the word we're so tired of hearing athletes hear, the one that starts with an F, faggot.
Oh,
the
gay derogatory.
Yeah, yes. Well, it gets better. So Rogan kind of sent this quote-unquote apology, and in his apology, this was on a website called bloodyelbow.com.
Sweet.
Yeah, they were doing the story about it. So he wrote this letter in response, giving an apology, and basically he claimed that his use of the word was not to insult gays or put gays down.
Really?
Connie, it gets better. Oh. It really does. He wanted to imply that the person he's using that word against was weak and pathetic. So he doesn't want to insult us. He thinks that the word faggot means weak and pathetic. but that's not an insult to gays.
You know, Santa Claus should have brought him a dictionary way back when as a Christmas gift so he could understand what certain words mean.
Yeah.
Do you think he knows how to use a dictionary?
Well, okay, let's keep going here because there's
there
more.
I mean, so far, just you say there's more, but I mean, so far it just sounds like he's kind of giving the middle finger and just being an arrogant.
Yeah, and well, so after he says that, he also says that he enjoys the word immensely.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow.
and that's not the end of it. There's more, but wait, there's more. So after he makes the statement that, you know, he's not putting down gays, he's he used the word homosexuals.
Okay.
He's not using it to put down homosexuals.
Well, you have to be politically correct.
Yes.
And he actually mentioned something about that in his letter about in this world of political correctness, blah blah blah. So again, he does this quote unquote apology. Says he's not insulting gays, but he thinks faggot means that someone's weak and pathetic. But he enjoys using the word. And then he closes the letter by stating, "As for my use of the offensive word faggot, please accept my apologies and replace it with the word," well, this word starts with a C and ends with oxsucker.
Oh.
So that's the cherry on top of our cow pie.
See, this just makes me, I mean, I used to like this guy. I only knew him from Fear Factor. I used to
No,
like
you used
that.
to think he was hot. That's very different, Josh.
Well,
Now
no.
he kind of he was.
He was. He's not now.
Now he's just stupid.
He was until this, and that just ruins it for me. That's so unfortunate.
Well, that's just one of the things. You can't judge people always by their looks. You got to figure out what's between their ears as well as what's between
Jay's in the
other
corner.
parts of the
He's-
anatomy.
Jay's in the corner. I hear, what a douchebag.
Yeah. Well, no, that's actually, I wouldn't even call him a douchebag. He's the backwash that comes out when you're done
no.
using the douche.
Oh,
That's what he is.
But Joe Rogan, I mean, is just showing himself being typical of the way a lot of people think. And they,
No, it's
I
right.
have friends who say, "Oh, that's so gay," and they don't
hate that.
they don't understand when I challenge them on it. They're like, "Oh, you know what I mean." I'm like, "Yeah, I know what you mean. You mean it's stupid or dumb." And
you're calling me stupid and dumb.
Yes.
And even though you don't mean it negatively towards gay people, I'm telling you that you need to change your language because this needs to change. You know, to say that something is so gay seems innocent, but every time someone does it, it equates gay with dumb, stupid, weak, whatever it is
And
their
this
connotation is.
This is the same battle that black people fought with the N word, and now it's such
Exactly.
a big deal, but that hasn't carried over into the gay community, and it's time it did.
And Joe Rogan's not entitled to say what the F word means. Right. Just as he can't say, well, I can use the N word, but I'm not referring to black people. Well, it's not for you to decide. That's what it is.
Excuse me.
Oh, gosh.
I heard you guys using this word, and
Buddy, can you help me push him out?
I can't
I
tell
don't
you
like to touch him.
how many times people have used that word on me, and I'm like, well, I know they use that word to mean bassoon in Germany and in Italy, so I guess they're calling me a musician, or I don't know.
What?
I just don't get it.
I don't get it
Did
either.
I lose you, Connie?
Yeah, you
Who
did.
knew that
sorry.
I must be
Fabulonzo
having a blonde
Was
day.
so cultured?
was so cultured
Hey.
in this way?
For our new listeners on Gay Talk Radio.
Oh my God, there's new people here.
Public radio, I apologize. This is Fabulonzo
Hello, everyone.
who manages to get in our studio on a weekly basis. I swear, Connie, he's down under your table hiding next
What?
to you and something.
Oh, no. Well, I still can't figure out if Fabulonzo is a he or a she.
I don't think Fabulonzo knows if it's a he or
That's
she.
beside the point. But my point is that even if you get used to hearing a word like faggot, it doesn't matter how many times you hear it. It still really gets under my skin. You can say you get used to it, but it still bothers me, and I'd really appreciate it if people would start calling me that queen, because I'm royalty, and I deserve to be treated as such.
Well, you are a
I was
queen.
just beginning
will
to
give
think
you
that I
much.
really scary thought that I was starting to agree with Fabulonzo, and then we went to the queen deal, and now it's all over.
Did you steal my crown?
Yes. Why should you get to wear it all the time?
I'm flustered. I need to go now.
Oh, my God.
Why?
Well,
Can-
enough about that.
Lock the door, buddy.
It doesn't
You're-
help.
you're
The slither's
closest.
right under it.
Well, the next thing I wanted to go on to was the first episode of Skating with the Stars, premiered
How
after
did that go? I didn't see that.
Dancing with the Stars. Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but anything that ends with the stars or of the stars, I kind of groan at it. What about you, buddy?
Well, you generally can know that anything that ends with the stars doesn't really have many stars on it.
Well, or not stars anymore.
They're playing fast and loose with the term stars.
Yeah. There's a certain person on, I guess, a character that was on Dancing with the Stars. I'd hardly call a star.
Right. There's a few of those.
Yeah. Well, the first episode of Skating with the Stars, it was like directly after Dancing with the Stars, and they went from like the Dancing with the Stars studio, walked through the back, over to this 2,400 square foot skating rink that they built in the studio.
3,200. I did watch that last night. It's 3,200 square feet.
Oh, okay. I was watching it too yesterday, but it was on ABC.com.
You taped it or you watched it?
No, yeah, I watched it online, and you can thank me later for that plug, ABC.
You sat through the whole show?
No, I couldn't. I actually couldn't.
I did. It was wonderful.
But
Check it out.
I did want to mention that Johnny Weir and Dick Button are two of the judges.
And who are these stars?
I know.
Exactly.
Is
Yeah.
Dick Button still breathing? I mean, isn't he about 90 years old now?
He's pretty close, yeah.
81.
Well, Vince Neil is
Oh, man.
post-plastic surgery. Vince Neil is on there. Sean, what's her name from An Officer and a Gentleman and Blade Runner?
Sean Young.
That's
Young.
her.
She was just on my soap.
I was like, who's he? Oh, well, if she's on a soap, she's definitely.
Well, they
not a
just
star.
sent her off the show to jail, so she's not on it anymore.
No, I
on the
like when
show.
they get
She'll be
killed
back
off.
next week.
Oh, yeah, and the only other person I recognized was Bethany Frankel.
Oh, I love her.
Who was on The Real Housewives of New York and The Apprentice, and she's making the reality show rounds. It looks like.
Yeah.
Johnny Mosley's a sports star. He was on there.
Yeah. I was getting to that. He's an Olympic skier, but most of the rest of them are. Yeah, nobody I've ever heard of. Since I wasn't all that crazy about talking about Dancing with the Stars, I kind of want to gauge whether our listeners want to hear us talk about Skating with the Stars. So I'm going to put a call out to some of our listeners to email the show.
Please.
And let us know, do you want to hear about Skating with the Stars or do you not want to hear about it?
Yeah, we love to hear from you guys.
They may need to email us soon because this show might only last a couple weeks.
There's only
bad.
6 contestants, so I'm really hoping so. So that's they can email us at radio@competenetwork.com. That's really all we have today for Sports Pop.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the the website itself, where you can go on all of the sports pop, everything we talked about today, and then we have so much material every week and just not enough time to get to it. Even the things we can't talk about on the air, go to the website, check it out online, competeradio.com. Up next, a BJ at the water cooler with Eric. We'll be right back.
Compete Radio.
Hey there, Compete fans. This is Jay. I'm your engineer here at Compete Radio, and I'm here with Josh, the host of Compete Radio. And you know, Josh, I'm always having trouble trying to figure out what to get my friends and family for Christmas.
Well, Jay, I understand. Here's what I'm doing. Annual subscriptions of Compete Magazine with groundbreaking articles and your monthly dose of hot guys. How could everyone in your life not love Compete Magazine?
Wow, I cannot believe I didn't even think of that. And right now, subscriptions are 2 for $1, and they're only $19.95. So
That's right. Hey, listeners, take advantage of this special holiday offer. Log on to CompeteRadio.com. Click on subscribe. That's CompeteRadio.com. Click on subscribe. 2 for 1 subscription and our promo code radio.
You're listening to Compete Radio.
Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Josh Fourier. We're here with Buddy, Alfonso, Connie, Eric, and, of course, Jay. The man that runs the show and keeps the gears turning.
Thank you.
Yay,
Thank you for that
Jay.
call out, Josh. I
Yay, Jay.
appreciate it.
thank you.
Eric, I have to say, this morning, when you pulled me aside and started talking about, next to the Aquafina in the hall, you started talking about BJ's and wanting to talk about this on the show. I was a little uncomfortable, but what's...
Well, I really started, I thought, gosh, I'm going back thinking, my all-time favorite BJ. That, to me, is such an important topic
I think
for the
about
radio
that.
show.
I think about that often.
BJ and the Bear?
No. I remember the first time I really thought about it was in 1976. I was having a bowl of cereal, and it really started to hit home. And now, in recollection, my favorite BJ, I'd have to say, I remember, the loose skin, how it just kind of hung there, and it was pulled back.
What are we talking about?
it was pulled back and revealed a young, firm head. That was such an important time in my life.
Eric, this isn't Playboy Radio, I don't think.
No, I'm talking about Bruce Jenner's plastic surgery. What did you think I was talking about?
Is he the one who hangs out with the Kardashians?
Yes.
Yes, he's
Oh,
the...
gosh.
He's their dad.
He's
What
what?
is-
Their stepdad.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is up with all this plastic surgery?
I don't know,
gosh.
but
I'm
he needs it
I'm so
again.
relieved you weren't talking about what I thought you were. I was scared where this was going to go. You have a point. What's going on? Why is everyone turning into these plastic Barbie dolls?
Well, I think it's because we all want to look younger, we all want to look happier, but I think we all end up looking like an expressionless. What you were talking about Greta Van Susteren the other day, Alfonso.
Oh.
What did you have to say about Greta's plastic surgery?
Oh, no.
Oh, I just remember what a big deal it was. Like how much? Like 7 years ago was it? 8 years ago, where she had like some eye work done, and it was like this huge deal because she was a financial reporter at the time, and financial reporters normally don't get plastic surgery, and it wasn't a huge procedure. It was just like a little eyelid lift.
Well,
or something.
she had something done back in the 90s because
Well, they
there
removed her sense when they sent her to Fox News. So,
Jeez.
but that has nothing to do with plastic surgery.
But seriously, wasn't
Or if it
part
got there,
of
was
her
it tucked
lip?
out of the side of her mouth?
Exactly.
I thought they would
It's
fix
like she
that.
was paralyzed with one side and of her mouth that didn't match the other, and they
when they
loosened that
took
up.
it out of her, they slapped her, and that's how it got
Okay.
out.
So is Bruce Jenner a sports
This is
pioneer?
going downhill fast.
Well, being a, I know that, if you watch the closing with the Kardashians, one of the chicks got some Botox this season. But
Oh, good
would you?
grief.
I mean, they made a big deal about Bruce Jenner and his looks and his appearance and his haircut and his plastic surgery. I mean, is it a good thing that men can be open about getting plastic surgery now? Is it a good thing that women can finally be open about getting plastic surgery?
Well, yeah, to reference what you were saying, Alfonso, 7 or 8 years ago, it was such a huge deal because it was taboo to get plastic surgery.
Well, I mean, it was. I think in the '80s was kind of like when that had. It kind of started coming out that people had plastic surgery, and
Right.
and going back even further than that was when Phyllis Diller had a bunch of plastic surgery done,
Right.
and then everybody was just like, "Oh wow, you can really change somebody," because she looked different, to put it nicely.
She actually became beautiful. It went from, she used to describe herself as a bag full of doorknobs.
Well, she looked like Andy Capp's wife. Is about the best way I can describe her.
Okay.
Well, it was just a couple years ago that Gene Simmons and his kind of sort of but not quite wife had matching facelifts at the same time.
Well, this next, and that's right. There's also lots of sports stars that are getting plastic surgery too. So it's not even just people like Greta Van Susteren or Gene Simmons. I mean, kind of with Gene Simmons, it's sort of like, yeah, duh, he should get it right. But the sports stars, it's kind of a funny thing. And I think this one's going to be dear particularly to Connie and Alfonso about breast reduction.
I can't seem to get Eric removed. That's my boob.
Can we put him out with
Eric is
with
my boob.
Babylonzo?
So.
Tennis star Simona Halep. Did I say that right, buddy?
I have never heard of her.
Okay, well, I Googled her because I was
I
looking for
can't
plastic
believe that, buddy.
plastic surgery stories. She got a breast reduction. She's a tennis, I'm going to use Buddy's air quotes. Actually, can you do the air quotes for me? Star.
There you go.
She'll probably be on Skating with the Stars in a couple of years. But
Or in Playboy.
Playboy, yeah. She actually underwent breast reduction surgery because, and now I'm gonna do more quotes, because the breasts make me uncomfortable when I play. It's the weight that troubles me, my ability to react quickly. So it kind of sounds like an episode of The Biggest Loser, if you've seen that.
Well, if you move down and your momentum's up, or your boobs are going one way. Actually, I come from a family where the women typically are D plus C to D plus, and it does kind of
That's
obstruct
big if you don't know.
your ability to do things that the rest of us take for granted.
I rather enjoy the breast. I think if I was a straight guy, I would be a boob man. They're fun to play with.
Well, that's
I don't know.
but you
They're not
don't have
sexy.
you
They're
don't
just
have
fun.
25 pounds cantilevered off your chest.
well. If you think about it, this is why female gymnasts, are at their best in their teen years.
Yes,
before they develop.
prepubescent.
A lot of them even, this is getting a little off topic, but they've put off their period through whatever means they do. But if a gymnast suddenly develops breasts over the course of a year, that could hurt her competition.
That screwed me up in 8th grade like you will not imagine.
It's also why you see
He
a lot
hasn't
of
done the balance beam since.
a lot of teenage swimmers, females, really excel. You have like Amanda Beard when she was a teenager was killing it in the pool. Anita Nall, a lot of Janet Evans. A lot of them had their best years when they were 16, 17, 18 before they, got big boobs.
Well, and I don't think people recognize that until women who have had a mastectomy and their weight distribution is off, and they kind of have to learn how to walk again and balance. And I think if they recognize that in sports early on, that somehow there ought to be some kind of training that leads you into that, so it's not such a big deal.
Do you mean like a training bra?
Well, that wasn't quite what I had in mind, but who knows? Maybe.
Well, they make compression wear for men aside from
Yes.
to maybe women can wear some, flatten them out.
Good news for athletes on the East Coast. Because what I did is I went to CompeteRadio.com and clicked on the link to Google, like you should all do whenever you want to Google something.
Compete Radio is
Thank you, Eric, for that unsolicited.
Just one simple extra step.
And I put in athlete plastic surgery a second ago, and here's what came up. This is really good news, and I'm going to be very succinct in my pronunciation here.
Oh, yeah.
Breast augmentation in Virginia, not to be confused with other words of similar spelling.
Was that like Santa Claus's Virginia? There is one?
Not limiting for athletes. They're saying that as an athlete, you strive to create a flawless physique. So they're actually encouraging breast augmentations. And I'm assuming this might be for women only. I'm not really sure. Johnny Weir might be a question mark. But they're actually encouraging athletes to have a flawless physique on the field. So,
Well, like that kind of makes sense. I mean, it's a very simplistic argument, I think. But that's what every athlete wants, male or female. You want to be in the best possible shape. You don't want one part of your body being out of shape. Not that boobs are out of shape,
Right.
but they could be
But it could be like
disproportionate.
Phyllis
Yeah.
Diller's bag full of doorknobs.
For example, they could, a young teenage swimmer or gymnast or a tennis player who's excelling and then develops breasts before other muscles, and so you can be a little off balance, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I would think that breasts would get in the way of every sport. I was reading an article, and buddy, you can't help me on this, which is scary because you're the sports guy. They say that breasts get in the way, and that's why women golfers can't golf as good as men or don't have the same scores as men, is because the breasts actually get in the way of the swing.
Yeah, I could see that.
Eric,
They do.
you're getting letters for that one.
Yeah. Send your letters to Eric at Compete Network.
Well, I don't think that's his opinion. I think that's what this is actually what he's heard.
I don't know. Have you heard that?
Yes, actually, it might have been in Golf Magazine. I used to subscribe to Golf Digest, so
It's very
Rogan
possible.
could be that.
That's really interesting. I never even considered how important boobs can be, I guess.
Yeah, usually there isn't a source, but this time there is one. So,
Well, for something like water ballet, they might actually be a help. So I mean, you never know. You're right. There are times when having a big bosom. Would
You
be-
mean something like
Water wings in the
synchronized
front
swimming?
as
Yes.
opposed to the back.
Exactly.
I have no
We
idea
do
where this
all
is
kinds
going.
of sports here, even synchronized swimming.
Well, Jennifer Gray's getting lots of heat for her nose job, and she actually is one of the finalists in Dancing with the Stars. That hopefully will be a couple days from now.
No,
They'll
it
have
happened a couple days ago.
Oh, it happened
Yeah.
before Thanksgiving. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't.
It
Okay.
It was on
before
Monday.
Thanksgiving.
I don't watch it. I know she
That's
was.
what led into Skating with the Stars.
I saw it
Well-
last week. I know she was in the top 3 or 4, however many that is.
When you tape it and watch it later, it's hard to figure out which is when.
Well, I watch everything on the internet like 2 or 3 days after, so I don't even bother to know when it's on. I go to CompeteNetwork.com and click on the link for my favorite episode.
It's really not.
Eric,
And we're following that trend also.
Connie, are you okay?
Man down!
But I'm running out of time, and I'm going to
sorry,
yell that. So
folks.
we had the debate, and we're going to have a debate about this at some time in the future too, whether dancing is a sport or not.
It's not.
Do we?
I
Think,
agree.
It is.
Do we think that Jennifer Gray's nose job gave her more aerodynamic movements and gave her a better advantage?
It
over the
definitely
other
changed her weight
dancers?
distribution.
I think
Yes.
Jennifer Grey, which, by the way, I've never thought that.
I've had the
Eric
time of
talks
my
about her because
life.
she was a dirty dancer.
dancing.
I have never heard that Jennifer Gray's nose job was controversial or she was getting heat for it. She did it. She came out and said, "Yeah, I did it," and that was
You
kind
also
of it.
watch Extra on the
Oh,
Extra.
but I think if you did watch Dancing with the Stars finale earlier this week, which I did not, but obviously I know who won. Jennifer Grey won, and I think a lot of that, I don't think it had to do with her aerodynamic nose. I think it had to do.
She spun better.
I think it had to do with her piss poor competitors. That Kyle kid from the Disney Channel and then Bristol Palin, from what I understand, were no match for her dancing skills. But dancing's not a sport.
And I agree.
I don't know. I think if bowling's a sport, dancing should be considered. I don't know. But next month, December, is our big issue of Compete Magazine. We're going to talk about that, events, what's going on, and more. Stay with us. 2 minutes. We'll be right back. Compete Radio.
Compete Radio.
Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Josh Fourier. We're here with Buddy Early, Alfonso Chavez, Connie Wardman, and Eric Carlisle. Buddy, I'm sorry. Right before the break, I saw your face when I said, if bowling can be a sport, then what the hell? So can dancing.
And
buddy.
I would like to remind everyone that on last week's show, Josh said he thought men and women should play on the same teams.
No. I thought the Coyotes were a softball team.
That too.
They probably are somewhere.
Don't give away all our trade secrets about how much we know about sports here.
Oh my God.
Buddy
Yeah,
knows. The rest of us, here and there.
I'm learning as we go. But we have so much going on in the month of December, and then even the last few days we have left here in November.
Yeah, we are just finishing up our December issue of Compete Magazine, which will be in people's hands in about a week, in the next week. And it's our annual Athlete of the Year issue. And we are so excited to present our new Athlete of the Year to people and can't wait for them to get the copy in the mail or wherever they purchase it or pick it up. We can't tell you who it is, but we can tell people
They're going to really like it.
they're going to really like it. I mean,
This
Yeah.
guy, I mean,
He doesn't take
this
a
guy
bad
slash
picture.
girl.
This guy, this is a guy.
yeah, he just
A very
he's a
nice
man.
looking guy.
All the
He
gay
is-
guys and all the straight ladies are going to drool.
This has to be one of the most beautiful people
And a few
I have
closet
ever
cases.
seen. But
Yeah.
I know we can't say very much about it. But oh my, gorgeous. I mean,
He did not take a bad picture in that whole spread.
what do they say? Verklempt? Is that how you say it?
Verklempt.
Well, he's kind of like a Ryan Reynolds. You know how like everybody has their type, but most people you ask will say Ryan Reynolds is hot.
Yeah.
He's kind of like that.
Well,
Even
he's
if he's not your type, you'll probably think he's hot.
He's the sexiest man alive, according to people.
And he's very
so-
accomplished.
Yes. Speaking of our Athlete of the Year, though, we have a great interview with this person in our December issue. And our December issue is really dedicated to that contest, to him, and we've already let the cat out of the bag that it is a man, to him and to our other finalists from all over the country. Our judges had a great group to pick from. Some really, as I get the applications after the voting is done from our judges, I get to sift through the finalists that the judges had to do. And I'm just so impressed with so many of these people and what they do in their communities, in their gay community, but specifically in their gay sports communities around the country. It's really cool what people are doing. And we've had the luck of having, this is our third Athlete of the Year, of having some really amazing winners. Our first winner was Jeff Kagan from New York City, who has his fingers all in every pie in New York City as far as gay sports.
He was actually one of the founders of Out of Bounds, which is
Uh-huh.
the gay sports organization in New York City.
Exactly. I mean, he was an ideal inaugural Athlete of the Year for Compete Magazine.
And he still helps us out. He still
he does.
He still does a little bit for us in the magazine, so I appreciate that.
And then we had John DeFee as our 2009 Athlete of the Year from here in Phoenix, where we are, who leads the local gay softball league, and his team actually went to the World Series last year and won. And the things that he does for all of the gay and lesbian softball players in his league, in terms of helping them improve on their team, the work that he does is really fantastic. And we followed it up with an excellent winner this year, and we're really excited.
I have to agree. I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on the fact that he's so hot. I mean,
You're looking at the picture, aren't you, Josh?
Yeah, he is.
It takes, there's, you see people every day, but it takes a very special person to really grab your attention.
Yeah.
He got my full attention.
One week from today, Alfonso, will we have his pictures posted on the website about 1 week from today?
About a week from today, we actually are working with another media outlet to get the news out there about who this person is, and they'll actually have some exclusive photos.
Exclusive.
Yes. And, yeah.
Speaking of photos, you had a good time picking those out, buddy, I must say.
I think everyone
All
here
of us
at the
had a good
office
time.
had a good time
I
picking
had
those
to hose
out.
everybody down. It was scary. What I really like, though, is that it's not just about their athleticism. That's part of it, but it really a big part of it is what they do for the community, and that's so
Exactly.
important.
Yeah, and Eric was so excited about him. He totally glazed a donut this morning.
Really?
Oh, no, he ate a glazed donut. I'm sorry, my bad.
Eric doesn't have to be too excited to do that. None of us do.
I wear a mask when I buy donuts now because I don't want them to know it's me again.
But we are very excited to have that issue come out in just a week, and I think people will love it. We're already planning our January issue. We have some really exciting things planned for that. But right now, it's all about our Athlete of the Year, and I want all of our listeners to pick that up wherever they are, because it's going to be a keeper.
Yep, absolutely.
And he'll be on the show the 17th, so 2 weeks
That's
from
right, yes.
3
Is
weeks
that-
from today.
Is that confirmed? He's going to be here?
Well, one way or another, we're going to have him on the show. So yes.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm going to have to sit on the other side of the table like this for that show.
We're going to have to bring you in like they did with King Kong with chains to keep you from
Hey,
leaving
Josh,
at him.
do I have time to mention a couple of events that are going on around the country this weekend?
Yeah, let me just say, if you don't reside in Arizona or Southern California, where we primarily distribute Compete Magazine, please go to either CompeteRadio.com or directly at CompeteNetwork.com and click on subscribe. Get a subscription. We'll deliver it to your front door, your office, your mom's house, wherever you want us to send it to.
Don't miss this
The
one.
military barracks.
Yeah, this out of any month, I would say that the December issue is the issue to sign up for.
And let me
sure
also
is.
say that if you do give a subscription to somebody, it is the kind of magazine that you can leave out on a coffee table.
It is. It's not one of the dirty gay
It's not
magazines.
raunchy.
It's
But
classy.
still order it. Please still order it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're hot guys are still in it, but it's tasteful. So, buddy, I'm sorry. Yeah, go right ahead.
We always like to give a shout out to people in local gay sports communities around the country who are putting on events, because they work really hard to do so. And this weekend, of course, I think we mentioned it last week even, the Hurricane Showdown is going on in Fort Lauderdale. That's a softball tournament that they've been doing for about 15 or 16 years. And it's a great tournament. A couple of us went a few years ago. But there's a couple of tennis tournaments going on this weekend also. The Palm Springs Open is happening, as well as the Citrus Classic Clay Court Championships in Tampa. And there's a volleyball tournament in Washington, D.C. called the President's Queer Cup Classic.
Can you say that 10 times?
I can't, so don't make me.
And I actually want to quickly mention a couple of events that you'll if you're going to do them, you might want to be ready for them a little earlier. They are coming up in the next month. The first of which is the San Francisco Santa Skivvies Run, and that's going to take place December 5th from 12 to 2 p.m. starting at Lookout Bar. The actual run will take place at 1 o'clock. So if you're in San Francisco and you want to join in the run, you want to get out there and start training now because there's a lot of hills in that city. The other event that's going on is the Alamo City Corral is going to perform at the San Antonio Spurs game on December 22nd in San Antonio. So you might want to get your tickets for that game if you're in San Antonio.
I love San
You know what,
Antonio.
Josh? I think we should welcome our new listeners with a contest. Is it okay if I come up with something really fast in my head?
Oh God.
We'll see.
Is this
This is
more?
almost as bad as Fabulonzo.
We're going to
If it doesn't involve a water cooler and a BJ, then I think we can do it.
let's give away a 3 DVD set to the first person that emails. Let's just for now radio at competenetwork.com, but let's just go right to Josh and say Josh at competeradio.com. So email Josh at competeradio.com with DVD in the subject line, and the first person that does that wins a free DVD package.
Okay, so that is my port inbox is going to be overwhelmed. Yeah. So that's Josh at competenetwork.com. If you need the spelling or forget the email, go to competeradio.com, click on Contact Us. My email is right there. First person that sends me an email with DVD in the subject line wins a 3-pack of DVDs. Do we know what they are?
I don't know what they are, but they'll be good.
Are you sure? What is good? Are they like real movies or are they lame, corny
They're Eric's presentations
was
on
lame.
how to improve your life in 30 seconds or less.
How about Josh? Is it appropriate to change the rules one more time?
Oh my God, Eric.
That's a day in the life of the office.
How about
here,
this?
everyone.
How about the first person to put DVD Q Nation wins a DVD
Oh,
pack?
there you go.
And the first person to put DVD Queer Public Radio wins a DVD pack.
Okay.
What are these DVDs? Because I can run to my computer right now and send an email.
I think how about this? You'll have one will be the DVD season of The Mentalist. I know we have that.
Okay.
And what do you know?
we have a horror movie prize pack with
Horror.
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 Excuse me. Horror. With The Lost Boys, The Thirst.
Because
Sadly, it
Josh's email inbox was really about to explode. If
Yeah.
you,
So the Lost Boys, The Thirst. It's a more recent movie. It isn't the old one. It only has one Corey in it. We also have an Exorcist, The Exorcist.
So it'll be the Mentalist pack or the 3 DVDs. They'll get one of the two. How's that?
And there's the new Friday the 3rd, the new Nightmare on Elm Street, excuse me, is in there.
don't we have a Benny Hill DVD pack? That would be cool.
We have Benny
Oh.
Hinn from
Oh,
TVN.
even better.
First person to
Hallelujah.
include the word date in the subject line will win a date with Eric.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, my email box is overflowing as it is. Thank you.
and you'll get to take him to dinner
Yeah.
at my mother's.
Oh, what a good week it was. Thanksgiving was awesome. Black Friday, of course, we all got the good deals. It was crazy, but I had fun. Everyone had a good Thanksgiving, I hope.
Sure did.
absolutely.
I'm so thankful.
Thank you so
Come
Leftovers.
much.
back and join
Yeah.
us again.
Yeah, I have like 2 weeks of leftovers. It's awesome.
And they're in this room.
Thank you so much for listening. And again, a warm welcome. Thank you, gaytalkradio.org, queerpublicradio.com, and as always, qnation.fm. We will see you next week. Log on, competeradio.com.
Compete Radio. Log on to CompeteRadio.com.